As COGRA have shown us, ESL programs take a pride of place. They're a significant weapon in our armoury. We should increasingly be seeing the use of ESL experts to skill every teacher in order to make the curriculum more accessible and genuine learning success a realistic goal for every single student in our schools.
So when I started teaching, I struggled a bit at the start because I realised what I'm doing isn't working. I need to focus on what my students need. And luckily enough, we had a leader of pedagogy and she came in and saved the day.
With large numbers of ESL students at the college, a whole school approach to literacy development is going to be imperative.
Students are now able to see components of history being cycled into religion, bits of religious ethos being used in English.
I think it's also good for boys to see that consistent pattern and that similar strategies actually work in all the classes.
The English, the structural work has helped for every subject.
And so I've noticed that I've improved my English and it's improving all my other marks as well.
The language that we use, the language of literacy, is used by all teachers where we use collaborative learning.
Collaborative learning is, I think, one of the key strategies that we've implemented. And it allows teachers to work with experienced teachers. It allows them to also evaluate what they're doing in the classroom, and I think it builds trust amongst the staff, which is one of the most important aspects of it.
It's not each teacher working for their classroom, it's each cohort working together.
And as a group, identify what the students are doing incorrectly or where the weaknesses really are. It's a good professional development opportunity.
In Sydney Archdiocesan schools, we pride ourselves on responding to the needs of every individual student in our classroom.
You know, what had happened in Year 7 is when his marks weren't that great, the school was very quick to come in.
The way the school has actually helped, fantastic. They take time with the kids.
Christus Embrag was one of the students we identified at being at and below the minimum in writing in Year 7. We pre-tested him and devised a program specifically to cater for his needs and always giving him positive feedback in ways he could improve.
There's a number of indicators that suggest that the interventions that we've put in place absolutely work. One of them is that anecdotal evidence that we get from staff and student surveys. They think that learning is more accessible. When we look at our NAPLAN results, the targeted interventions in both reading and writing have most definitely seen growth.
He started off at a band 5 and ended up being a band 10 in the Year 9 NAPLAN persuasive writing.
It literally surprised me. Like, I never thought I'd be getting a band 10. Couldn't stop smiling that day.
In our HSC data, we're definitely seeing fruits of a whole school approach to literacy development. For the first time last year, the boys are actually achieving results in English better than mathematics, so that's a very significant improvement for the college.
Now, we want to do well as a cohort, we don't want to just do well as individuals.
Allowing them the opportunity to think for themselves in pairs and then move them into groups.
Other classmates can also pitch their ideas, and collaboratively it accounts for a lot.
And also modelling that good practice for staff and building their capacity to do that on their own when we're not actually visiting the class.
Well, for me, it's like I've connected with the teacher more, and he just helps me along with every step of the way.
What have we learnt about this unit so far?
So what we're going to do is have a look at how we're going to evaluate this question. I don't think it's something that we weren't doing previously. I think it's just making it more explicit in the classroom.
In regards to your understanding of what
He got a little bit of a taste of what he can do if he applies himself. I think it's really pushed his confidence up.
I think it's really important that staff can see that the interventions that they have put in place have really moved students along.
There is a culture of change at COGRA whereby mediocrity doesn't exist anymore, that we want to do well and we want to do the best we possibly can.
I hope you enjoy this video, but more important than your enjoyment is that having watched it, you'll think about it. And having thought about it, you'll see what you can do in your own school.
Well, back in Year 7, I become working in the dirt, but then now I'm thinking of working in an office and getting a high-paid job. So it's just changed my future, and I feel like I love school. That's it. Put it that way.